I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports.
All right, Coach. First opened in 1999. There's a good look at First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland, Ohio. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Houston Texans and the Cleveland Browns. Here's the former Sooner, Austin Seibert, to get this one started. And off we go from Cleveland. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. On first down, it's Watson. Dancing to his left. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Greedy Williams picks it off. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Browns defense has a touchdown. And the defense could not have written a much better script than that first drive, pick 6.
The offense never got a chance to really get oiled up there, did they? But the defense, they certainly got in gear. What a big-time play and a great way for them to start.
And now the offense, they've got to turn things around and figure this out because your backs are on the ground real quickly.
Yeah, usually when you're starting the game getting the ball, 0-0 is the only score you're worried about. Now the second time you get it, you're already down a touchdown.
This will be taken in at the 1. Look at the spin. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Football going back to the Houston Texans. Got another AFC South title this year. Their 4th in 5 seasons. No early exit in the playoffs. They came back to beat Buffalo in OT in the wild card round. Then that stunning 24-0 lead against Kansas City in KC. And you have to imagine they're going to be seeing Patrick Mahomes in their dreams all offseason. Probably a lot of nightmares.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. Kind of reminds you of a Metallica song, doesn't it? Right? I mean, with those kind of nightmares, you don't want to go to sleep. But I go back to something you mentioned earlier. Another AFC South title. Their 4th in 5 years. That's a lot of success that I don't think they get credit for because they haven't had that super deep run in the playoffs. They got to, what, the divisional round this year?
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Larry Ogunjobi in for the sack. Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't, and a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to the quarterback and put him on the ground? He's going to put a nickname after something like that, some Big Jelly or something like that.
And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. To me, that's a superior play by the backer because he was allowed to, I think, run free on it and make that play. His defensive linemen, they covered things down for him because offensive guys, the linemen, what they're trying to do, as you know, is block the guy at the point of attack and then climb to the next level and get the linebacker. When you're not allowed to climb, you got a free hitter, and that's what we saw there, and a really nice play resulted for them.
3rd and long, it's Watson. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. The #1 pick, Myles Garrett, coming in to drop him.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
Anger is on to punt, and he gets this one away. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10. Mayfield on 1st down. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
J.J. Watt makes another tackle there, and it's for a minimal gain. And let's face it, if that's all you're going to get running the ball, you're not going to have much success against him and his team.
Or, yeah, you better find a way to go around J.J. Watt, which isn't easy to do.
It's really not, because you got to try everything. Can you go around him? Can you go by him? Can you influence him to get him out of position so maybe you can wall him off? He's a really sharp, intelligent player, as well as a physical specimen.
That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup.
Nice job there finding room to maneuver, and he worked his way into another first down. And look, they had great field position to start, but boy, they've done a nice job taking advantage of it.
Now they're just hoping to cap it off. On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instinct. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary.
36.
To throw, Mayfield. He finds his target, Beckham. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. From 19 yards away. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play. In the end zone. That time a 6-play drive. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And now out comes Houston. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now it's Watson. And this one grabbed by Darren Fells. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Watson. On the run, he'll let this go deep right. It's caught inside the 25. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now a former Buckeye back home. It's Carlos Hyde. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Watson. He's got the first down inside the 10. And he'll finally be taken down at the 2-yard line. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
On that play, as you saw the route start to develop downfield, I got the sense that maybe the run would set up for him. And he took full advantage of it and got a big gain on a busted play.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll run for it with Hyde. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down.
And it's a touchdown. Taking it in from 2 yards out as they are now on the board here in the first half. They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. CD, we got a little time here before Cleveland takes their next snap on offense. Quite a ride, really, for the Browns in 2019. Freddie Kitchens really hardly knew you. Gone after 1 season. Remember, people had elevated the Browns, not just playoff contenders, really, but Super Bowl contenders in the preseason. But that 6-10 finish brought them back to earth in a big way.
Well, let's go back to the preseason, and we did talk about those high expectations. I think that you and I both pumped the brakes on the Super Bowl talk. I thought playoff talk was legitimate. And when you look at this roster, whoever ends up taking over as the head coach of the Browns, they should be very happy with the talent that they have and a chance to chase a division title in the AFC North. So we'll see if this team matures, learns from this past season where expectations were too high and they didn't come close to meeting them. But I think it's a roster well worth noting that they can make some noise if they come together and play at their best.
Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. Flushed out right. On the run, he'll let it go deep. Right sideline. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. They run again on first down, Chubb. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. A 14-yard pickup. That's 14 yards on 2 straight plays.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
They'll run with Chubb. And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side. No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half. That's fielded in the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. And this is picked up by the Browns. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Hey, alert, 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 alert. Pick up the ball.
Mayfield to throw it. And he slings one that's incomplete. The Pro Bowler Odell Beckham, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. So on 4th down, out comes the Browns kicker, Austin Seibert. That's a 40-yard attempt from the left hash. Seibert able to knock this one through. And that'll push the lead up to 17. So he splits the uprights, and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good 3-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
After the made field goal, Seibert back out there to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. And a look now at Lamar Miller. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? On first down, Watson. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Demarius Randall. And he'll score. Touchdown, Browns.
How about that touchdown, partner? If you blinked, you probably missed it. I looked away for just a second, and they were in the end zone.
Seibert on for the PAT. And the lead is now 24. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Let's go.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen.
And that's caught inside the 35. 5. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Watson. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. This is caught. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the 2nd half. The Browns are going to get the 2nd half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. That'll be taken in the end zone. And deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And they will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Texans touchdown. So problems here on special teams, and it results in the scoop and the score.
They talk all the time on special teams about keeping your head on a swivel, trying to see the whole field. Hard to do when things are going that fast. Bodies off.
And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. So tried to throw it in for 2 points, but the D got home, brought him down.
They got home, which means there had to be good coverage. Just had nowhere to go with the ball. Typically, you try and throw quick hitters, quick slants, maybe even a quick fade. Nothing was open. He ends up getting sacked.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
Let's go. Do it.
Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Zach Cunningham rolling in to get the sack. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this 2nd half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down, but now they had a plan, made that adjustment that we always talk about, and it worked very well on that play.
8 yards here, so that gets them back within striking distance, and now it's 3rd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
He finds Beckham complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
A run for Nick Chubb. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. They run it again with Chubb, and he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. The good run on 1st down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. That's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion, and defensively pure frustration. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll try to throw here. Mayfield. That's out to Chubb, complete. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. On the ground, it's Chubb. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on 3rd down.
Alert, 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 alert.
Mayfield now. It's caught by OBJ. And now off to the races down the right side. And all the way in. Touchdown. Cleveland. Odell Beckham. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Extra point by Seibert up and good. And they open the lead up now to 25. A 10-play drive that time. And it's capped off by the Browns touchdown.
Seibert to kick off for Cleveland.
Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. They keep it with Miller on 1st down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
On 2nd and 1, Watson being chased out left. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. Well, he was just trying to contain DeAndre Hopkins, and he got a little too close.
And because of his ability to line up in different spots on the field and come at you from different angles, different guys have to cover him, and all of them have the same issue. How do you do it without interfering? In this case, it didn't get done.
Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. Now on 2nd and 13. Watson buying time to his left. He's got his tight end. It's Fells. And he will be taken down but a big pickup there on what's going to be the final play of the third quarter. And we're back now here in Cleveland. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. A first down carry now for Miller. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Steps away to his left. He'll try and run it. Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a first down.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, second half, no quit in him.
0.
And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. Taking it in from a yard out. And the Texans get a bit closer. On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. And that'll cut the lead down now to 18. So that drive in total 8 plays. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Browns are able to cover this one up. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
A little bit of daylight on that first down run sets him up nicely. 8 yards on the carry. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. And again, it's Chubb. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 10, and the Browns are going to get a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Mayfield. It's caught. Beckham. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Odell Beckham, 31 yards. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
This is taken about 7 yards deep. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense is well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 39. On 1st and 10, Watson. He finds Hopkins complete. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, If you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Watson now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Back to throw, Watson. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked out and incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them, holding them under 200 today.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Watson looks to throw again. Forced out to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a 1st down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. He completes this into the hands of Miller. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got it 2nd and goal as they look for a late touchdown. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Watson. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. From 6 yards away. And the Texans cut into that lead. And here it's just a simple question of whether or not the ball broke the plane. Well, I said it's simple. It's not really that simple. This could be really complicated.
We would love for it to be simple, to know that it did actually cross the plane of the goal line. But as you described, it is a difficult call. All it takes is a portion of the ball crossing that line. Now the officials have to determine if that happened.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down now to 18. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Browns are able to cover this one up. 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Chubb. And he's going to be down at the 35. Gain of 7.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
He had it online, gave it a pretty good ride too, but in the end, he's a victim of the crossbar.
And Brandon, you know kickers very well. I bet if we ask him after the game, he'll say he didn't get all of it. We've seen him hit from deeper than this in warm-ups. But here, he's a foot or so from clearing that bar.
Dancing to his left. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And this is picked up by the Browns. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb, and they will only muster a yard here to the 38. The Texans going to signal for their third and final timeout as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Double tight, guys, double tight. You got three down.
On the carry, it's Chubb. And some room to run now. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Now Chubb. And he will force his way forward for a yard or two, but I have a good feeling this will be coming back.
Offense.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide, and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
Well, the lead late in the fourth, but Mayfield's going to throw it. And an alley to run. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean,